Alright, YouTube folks, feel free to skip ahead about a minute here. I'm just going to give some folks a chance to get in here, and I'm going to post in a couple of places that I'm getting started. Ooh, I also need to change the name of my stream real quick. Dashboard. Alright, just to show that we're going to be playing Maverick now. Update. Alright. X out of that. Pause that. Good to go. Alright, welcome back everyone, and good evening, or good afternoon, whenever or wherever you are. My name is Phil Gallagher. I run Thraben University. I normally stream D&D, but I'm on spring break, and I'm just kind of experimenting and trying all sorts of fun things, because, you know, that's what you're supposed to do on spring breaks, right? Right? I think so. So tonight I'm going to be playing Maverick, which is sort of like a sister deck to D&T in many ways. A lot of the core cards are the same. Like, we still have, like, Mom, Swords to Plowshare, Stoneforge, Thalia, and Equipment. But rather than round it out with Ether Vials, you have mana accelerators in the form of Deathrite Shaman and Noble Hierarch. And instead of finishers like Mirran Crusader, you get Knight of the Reliquary. D&T has some card selection in the form of Recruiter of the Guard, but this deck has a Green Sun Zenith package. So, my targets, my one-of targets, are Tireless Tracker for card advantage, Ramunap Excavator, or as I call it, Crucible Snake, to just wasteland my opponent into oblivion, Gaddock Teague for combo matchups, Quasali Pride Mage for stuff, most notably equipment, but this gets you out from under some weird hate cards from time to time. It's just super useful. Scavenging Ooze for graveyard decks, or just another decent-sized body. Scrib Ranger, and this card doesn't look good. It really doesn't. But it does a surprising amount of work. When you get to untap your Knight and just activate the Knight again, that is very, very, very useful. Or like untapping a Mother of Runes or untapping a Deathrite Shaman can get you a surprising amount of card advantage in unusual ways. So this is a card that's better than it looks. The protection from blue is also relevant because this means that it can Stonewall Delvers. The mana base is relatively straightforward. We're not getting too cute with the Knight of the Reliquary shenanigans. So Knight can tutor up lands, but most of the time it just tutors up Wasteland to just, like, knock the opponent out of the game. Or, alternatively, it just tutors up a fetch land to keep growing itself. Like a 7/7 or 8/8 Knight of the Reliquary is pretty common. So as far as like real Knight targets we have a one of Gaia's Cradle. What on earth is that art? Okay, that's a thing apparently. So like we have a Gaia's Cradle and a Caracas that we can tutor. Those are my primary targets. Like we can also get a Horizon Canopy just to like draw a card if we need to. But I'm not going so deep as to, like, play a Bojuka Bog. Like, if you look at my deck list, I am a green-white deck with an Abrupt Decay in the main deck. And then most of my black cards are actually in the sideboard. So, in many ways, I am playing a green-white deck in Game 1, and most of my green cards are in the sideboard. I don't necessarily know whether or not this version is any better than the Punishing Maverick deck. So I think if you want to play Punishing Maverick, a lot of times you, like, drop the Stoneforge Mystic package to make room for that. But I have a special place in my heart for this card, and, like, I don't want to say I grew up, but most of my exposure playing Maverick is with a deck like this, rather than with Punishing Maverick, so I wanted to play this one. This is going to tilt me all night. Like, this is hideous. I love the original Gaia's Cradle art. Where did this even come from? Like, this isn't on paper, right? Like, this doesn't exist. Ugh. All right, we're just gonna hide that behind some other lands so we can't see it. All right, let's talk about the sideboard. A good portion of the sideboard is just to like patch up combo matchups because Maverick can be a little weak to combo in game one. Like we have Thalia and Teague, and that's kind of it for combo. Like sometimes you can wiggle through like weird combo decks with like Pride Mage or like the Caracas you tutor up, but a lot of times like you're just soft to combo. So 9 of our 15 sideboard slots are for combo. And then we play 4 generically good like sideboard cards like Decay, great generalist Gideon, great generalist, Zealous Persecution, awesome against things like Delver, D&T, and Elves. And then we play 2 chokes where like basically if my opponent is playing a deck with islands, I board and choke. It's just awesome. Could always play the depth stage combo. Yeah, so a lot of the Maverick and Agrolome players that I talk to just say, like, you know, most of the time, if you have a knight and it's living, the knight can just kill them anyway, and you don't need the, like, stage depths combo. Like, it's just unnecessary. That's what people tell me. I probably haven't touched Maverick in a year and a half. Like, I've played some pickup games on the casual tables with it, but I haven't taken it to a tournament in ages. So the list I'm playing is, I think, very, very close to a list that I think his name was Danili 5-0'd with a couple of weeks ago that I was relatively happy with. Tyler with the Pro Tech. Negative +4 recruiter, +1 Allurin. Go, go, go. Tyler, how have your streams been going? I opted to listen to the Everyday Eternal podcast a few minutes ago rather than watch your stream because I heard it was dissing Deathrite, or not Deathrite Shaman. Well, that too, but I heard it was giving D&T a bad rap, so I wanted to see what that was about. Yes, Vilzex 10. The deck usually only runs some number of Stoneforge Mystic rather than a full playset because you're not all in on like Batterskull and the equipment being your finisher since you have like the Knights and the Scavenging Ooze that are just big. Alright, so you've got lower viewership than normal, but you've been prepping for Vintage. Oh my gosh, Tyler, that's insane. 3 5-0s, 8 4-1s in 5 days playing car shops. Yeah. I mean, that your version must be really good if you gave up playing that blue-white red deck that you were interested in. Yeah, I would love that. Like, I don't know how inexpensive Vintage Shops is online, but if it's not too expensive, I might dabble and try that out. So folks, if you have any questions about like the deck list, feel free to chime in. Otherwise, I'm just going to go ahead and get to it. So for my regulars that are in here, I borrowed Tin Fins from Sean a couple of minutes ago. Ooh, yeah. So like I will be playing Tin Fins probably tomorrow. Sorry, I'm just gonna take a second to peruse this list. Yeah, I can probably just like straight up borrow this list or very, very close to it. Because it says it's 465 ticks. I have a 300 tick account, and I already have like some of these lands. Like I have the Wastelands already, and a couple other random cards, so I'd probably get there. What the heck is Kill Switch? Tap all other artifacts they don't untap during their controller's untap step as long as Kill Switch remains tapped. Alright, that's a piece of tech right there. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and jump right into it. Alright. So we're playing Maverick. Let's battle. Yeah, now that, like, the Legacy Cube is gone, and I've stopped incinerating tickets to that, my ticket count is looking good. Like, I have so many treasure chests I just haven't, like, cashed in yet. Yeah, 194 chests. I'll convert those at some point. How long have you been playing? I have been playing Magic since Scars of Mirrodin came out. I've been playing Legacy since about a year and a half after that. I've been playing Death and Taxes almost all of that time. Not exclusively D&T. I've flirted with many other decks, as you can tell, and my Legacy collection is such that I can play most decks that I want. Yeah, Tyler, like, relatively speaking, like, I am a new player, right? Like, compared to, like, some of the other, like, highest caliber players. Like, some of them have 10 years of experience on me. Yeah, like, if I think my first sanctioned Legacy match was in grad school. So, like, I think my first sanctioned Legacy match was in, like, 2011 or something like that. So I've been playing Legacy for, like, 7 years. Back in my day, we just called it Type 2. Ooh, Shuffle with the Ponder. I always like Shuffle with the Ponder. I think I want to start fueling my graveyard for Knights long term. I also don't, like, really want to play Bayou. I also really don't care if I get Wastelanded. Cabal Therapy me. Unfortunately, that probably names Thalia. Yep. His opponent's probably playing Ant. It's unfortunate we don't have the Batter Skull, because that's what we'd like to get here. Deal. Great draw. Like, I can't overstate how good of a draw that was. Like, sans a Thalia or a Gaddock Teague, that was about as good as we were gonna get. So a Green Sun Zenith off the top means that we win the game because Gaddock Teague is literally unbeatable in game 1. No, we don't. We have Sword of Fire and Ice and Jitte. We do not have Batterskull. Like, you can put a Batterskull in Maverick, but it's not really necessary. Ooze is not the worst. I'll probably just play Ooze and hold up eating something and attack for 2 with Stoneforge Mystic, and then next turn I can crash in with Sword of Fire and Ice. I don't really care if my opponent Cabal Therapies that away. And now I'm not going to fetch again to keep my life total at an odd life total in case they're like real short on an ad nauseum kill. I like the fact that my opponent is still cantripping, and post-cantrip they only have 5 cards in hand. So, like, there's hope for me to not be dead. And next turn, I do get to crack them for a decent number. So, if my opponent doesn't do anything, I eat my own Thalia, turn Ooze into a 3/3, it naturally attacks for 4, so we hit for 8 with the Sword of Fire and Ice equipped. That's solid. It's not amazing, but it's fine. Alright. So, opponent has 6 cards now. They've done some sculpting. I feel like we're just gonna die. They're dead if they don't go off. Yep. So me holding up Scavenging Ooze mana seems like it would not have mattered at all. Like, because opponent has 9, 10, 11, they have 12 mana, so they could just tutor tendrils me naturally, even if I don't hold up for Past in Flames. Yeah, and now they just have tutor tendrils. concede there. Alright, we have a lot of things in the sideboard for this matchup. These 5 cards are great. The Canonists are great. Zealous Persecution and Chokes are worth considering. We'll see where we're at after we take out the terrible cards. So Swords to Plowshares out. Abrupt Decay out. Scrib Ranger out. Probably Jitte out. Pride Mage doesn't have no utility. I don't really love the equipment package here. I don't really love Tireless Tracker here. So I guess I have 4 more cards I could cut. I can hedge against Goblins with Zealous Persecution if I want. It also just pumps the team, which is not irrelevant for just closing the last couple of points of damage. I don't think Choke is quite good enough to board in this matchup. Like, they can go off from very few lands. So I don't think this does enough. But maybe as a supplement to everything else I'm going on, it's fine. Alright. I don't think I love the Stoneforge package. So I think I'm going to bring in the Persecutions to hedge against Goblins and 1 Choke. We had a very poor draw against Ant that game. Like, we had the Thalia, but then we kind of, like, that got therapied, and then we drew, like, the fair portion of our deck. We want to draw the like, Thalia, T, Green Sun, Zenith side of our deck in this matchup. Yes, I would like to play first. Surgical isn't really enough disruption to, like, keep a hand with. This has, like, mostly the fair side of the deck again. Like, I get a lot of, like, relooks with Library, but I think I'd rather have a hand with, like, a Thoughtseize or a Hate Bear for 2. I think I stand by my remarks. Well, we need a land, but this has the right cards I'm looking for. Hey, we did it. This is about the best 5-card hand I could dream up. Mold to 5, have the land on top. Also, super insulated from Cabal Therapy. Caracas would be better. Yes, Caracas would be disgusting here. It's fine. Fatigue shuts off Massacre. play my bro than waste my planes. I probably won't go that deep because most of the ant lists aren't running Massacre these days. But it is definitely something that is on my radar. So I actually think I want to lead on Canonist to insulate myself from Dread of Night. If I lead on Thalia and my opponent... Oh, no, if I lead on Thalia... Alright, my opponent just concedes. They can't beat all three of these bears. It doesn't matter. I can just kind of, like, jam those cards in a random order and it's going to destroy them. Deeper! You must go deeper with your lines! Opponent seems to be making some adjustment to their sideboarding now that they have seen, like, I guess the Teague, potentially. I hope D&T gets a rest in peace on a 2/2 for 2 mana. That would be such a nice spare. I, too, am hoping for such a thing. All we need to do is wait, right? Like, R&D loves D&T. They love the Hate Bears archetype. We'll get it. All we have to do is have patience. Well, this is an awkward hand, but I have a Thoughtseize. Thoughtseize is really good at poking a hole and buying a time. If I get a second land, I play Library. That gets me to the third land to Green Sun Zenith for Teague. Probably have to fetch Bayou with the Verdant. I'm gonna keep this. If my opponent has something like a Duress, it's awkward. But if they just like Cabal Therapy and name Thalia again, that's fine. Yeah. So opponent tried to clear the way, and they did in some capacity, but not the way they needed to. I'm in for the ban on Gitaxian Probe in Legacy. I think one of Deathrite Shaman or Gitaxian Probe needs to go. I am personally in the Deathrite Shaman camp, but I think the Probe ban is reasonable. Oh my gosh, my opponent's hand is crap. So we're going to leave him with Echoing Truth, Push, Delta, and C, and we're 100% snapping off that Brainstorm. That is so gone. Deal. I, too, would be interested to see how Legacy pairs out without the therapy cheat code. Alright. This is the first time you're going to see Ant fatal push a Dryad Arbor, but it's happening. Yep. So their hand is Echoing Truth, Underground Sea, question mark. Alright, Brainstorm will make their hand considerably better. How many lands do I play? So I have 21 hits, under 50% per land. It's unfortunate. Hey, Bahra. We are playing Maverick currently. We're playing against Ant. Their hand was Echoing Truth, Underground Sea, question mark, prior to Brainstorm. I need to draw a land. Are they really going off from 3 cards? That's so disappointing. Okay, so it has to be an ad nauseum, though. Alright, opponent. Do your worst. Yeah, there's all the bad cards they put back. Opponent has 1 mana currently. Still 1 mana. 3 mana. Ooh. Opponent has flips that kill them at this point. They might need to stop and try again later. Yeah, is it a noticeable difference? Did I up the bitrate? I did not up the bitrate. Is that something I'm supposed to do? Like, the only change I made was, like, click 60 to 30. Yeah. Alright, you know my hand. If you want, you can Lotus Petal Therapy something out of my hand, like if you want to get rid of this Thalia. Okay, so let's see what my opponent discards. So my opponent discards the second ad nauseum, leaving them with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright, so some of this is gone. I already marked out that Gataxian probe. I marked out the therapy. I marked out the second ad nauseum. Oh, they must have like played the delta. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, yeah. Thanks, Mark. I'll look into that. I don't think there's anything that I bother to use a surgical on now. I guess I could get rid of the Dark Writ right now, but I think if they're going to cobble together a win, it has to be a Past in Flames. Kill. So I should probably just pass, and if they start going off, I'll surgically extract Infernal Tutor. Why are you playing Maverick? Because I'm on spring break and I've played like 8 different decks this week. I'm just messing around. I don't seriously think Maverick is like a great deck right now or anything like that. Yes, exactly. That's my thought line. You just make questionable decisions and have fun over spring break. Spring break is when you get Crucible Snake Wasteland combo, yes. Alright, you can see my surgical. It is a problem for you. Pox, you say? I could Pox. I've never played Pox, but I had a Pox player locally, so like I know some of the weird lines. Ah, yes, the second Gataxian probe for mana. Dark Ritual. Yeah, so I don't think I do anything until they cast like an LED. Because I don't care about them casting the Infernal Tutor until they're Hellbent. Yes, I will be surgicaling Infernal. But I'm going to try to get a couple of cards out of it. But I don't want to do it until I need to do it, because there is a real fear of just, like, natural Tendrils kill here. Of note, if I draw a land, Mom is a 1-turn clock. Infernal Tutor. That's fine, I just let that resolve at this point. Do they reveal? So they reveal Dark Writ? Sure. Dark Writ? Sure. Empty the Warrens. Okay. That's a thing. Alright, so we get one... Oh no. I'm just dead to that, because I can't draw both Zealous Persecution and land. So is there another therapy in the graveyard? Oh, there's another therapy in the graveyard after that. So I'm going to hope that they... Are there 2 therapies? No, so there's one more therapy. So they go down to 16 goblins. And I'm at 17 life if they therapy again. Yeah, so I'm going to get my Thoughtseizes out of here. We'll leave the ones in the graveyard. That can be Deathrite Shaman food if we like make it to that point. Alright, please therapy me again. Therapy me again. They didn't do it. But I drew a land. That means that I can live a turn, because I get to block 1. So it only takes 16. So Zealous Persecution off the top is still live. Alright, was not happening. In we go again. Alright, I don't have any data on my opponent, so I'll just keep a reasonable Maverick-y start. Yeah, I mean, his hand was trash, but we never drew a second land, right? Show and tell. That's bad on turn 1. Guess I'll put in a knight. Yeah, taking the Brainstorm and having him top deck the Brainstorm afterwards was slightly tilting. Alright, so I have Knight. So I have Knight and Caracas available to me. So how risky do I want to go? Because I can fetch, attack with Knight and Mom, hit for 4, cast Scrib Ranger, untap Knight. Alright, so I think I'm gonna fetch. Get a land, it doesn't really matter which one. Probably just gonna get annihilated. I know this has flash, but this card, resolving or not, very much changes what I do with my next turn. Alright, so now I can safely attack for 4, and if my opponent sneaks in an idiot, I Scrib Ranger, untap Knight, Caracas their idiot. That is correct. He does not have an idiot in hand. Alright. String of cantrips. Storm is 3. Second Omniscience as backup. My opponent just typed, "What is happening?" I guess I can wasteland them to keep them off of sneak attacking, and that makes them hardcast things. That's not irrelevant. It would keep me from getting ambushed by a Grizzlebrand mid-combat. Although my opponent just would have, like, cast a Grizzlebrand if they had it. It still just grows the Knight, which is fine. My opponent says, "I took 13 turns and ran through 21 cantrips and still managed already in Cincy." Alright, so we can turn this Knight into a 6/6 here. I'll just get basic Forest. Use that to cast a Deathrite Shaman. This is a 6, 7, 8, which puts them to 7, and then they can't draw with Grizzlebrand if they hit one. God draw, here it comes. That's what my opponent says. Show and tell. Alright, good play, opponent. That's a great one. I'm gonna choose this. Oh, they put in Flooded Strand. That is strong. Ooh, show and tell. Alright, I'm gonna put in Bayou. Okay. Choke is borderline. Thought Seizes are good. Surgicals are borderline. Containment Priest and Canonist are good. Opponent says 11 draws till my next threat, and that is also considering cantrips. Alright. Swords to Plowshares out. Probably Stoneforge Mystic package out. And then some amount of the slower stuff can probably go. Abrupt Decay doesn't do anything. Surgical may be too ambitious. But if I Thought Seize a combo piece and then Surgical, it is really good. Or if they have Intuition, it's really good. But that might be reaching. Like, Ooze isn't great. Tracker isn't great, but I think I want bodies more than those. And I don't know that I need the Stoneforge Mystic package here. So I'm gonna ship this. Turn 1, Thoughtseize. Turn 2, Thalia. Great. You don't want Surgical unless you have absolutely nothing else worth putting in. Yeah, if I had a little bit more discard, I'd play Surgical. But I think with just 3, the statistical chance of me getting both a Thoughtseize and a Surgical in the opener, or top few cards, is low. Ooh. So we did get 2 cards with that. We got a Petal and a Spell Pierce for that Thoughtseize. So that's fine. Now they might still just go Soul Land, go off here. Now we have the Green Sun Zenith Thalia combo. I can Ramunap this turn, or I can Green Sun for 1, get my Hierarch attack in for 3, so that next turn I can Green Sun for 3. What am I Green Sunning for? Teague? Probably Teague. Maybe Pride Mage. So I need to be able to cast Green Sun for X equals 2 next turn, which I can do with 4 lands. So that means that just playing Crucible Snake is fine here. Opponent asks, how is this happening again? Alright, so now we have shut off Show and Tell. Or, excuse me, we have shut off Sneak Attack. It seems like opponent has Show and Tell. Guess I'll put in a Dryad Arbor. Omniscience. Alright. Blood Moon. Good thing I got that Forest. Alright, so I can go... That was a mistake. I was supposed to play that from my graveyard. So if I cast Green Sun for X equals 2, I just go and get Pride Mage, blow up the Omniscience. Oh no. Teague. Alright, combo. I figured it out. Alright, they get one draw. Maverick, the deck of the Nambo. Yep. So this is the good old Gaia's Cradle as our one land. That's no good. This hand is not exciting, but it's fine. Mom can go to bottom, it doesn't matter, we're shuffling. We'll do our best Elves impression for a turn. Alright, opponent's playing Burn, probably. Suspend Rift Bolt. Alright. What does a Green Sun for 2 get me? That gets me a Scavenging Ooze, which is going to die to the Rift Bolt. But I guess that's fine. Like, my hand's so bad that I just, like, have to cast my cards. I'm going to treat that one as a gain 3 life spell. Yeah, Bosk, I definitely think Aggro Loam is, or 4-color Loam is a better deck than Maverick. Ooh, main deck Searing Blood. Gross. I'm going to try to draw a Deathrite Shaman. Did not do it. But I drew a Knight that will be bigger than a burn spell. Swords to Plowshares, our own Knight of the Reliquary, is probably going to be a very real play at some point this game. Swift Spears. Oh man. No lightning bolt for my opponent. See if my opponent has a Fire Blast. Seems like the answer is yes. Fire Blast target me? Yep. I can make this Knight very big. If I attack with the Knight, I can hit in for 6 damage, put my opponent to 10. I think I just have to pass and intend on, like, growing the Knight a little bit and then Swords to Plowsharing it. But maybe just, like, waiting doesn't favor me, since I'm so low on life. I know I think my opponent's last card is just a land. If I attack in, I nug my opponent for 6. If they go for a kill, I gain 6 life, go up to 12. They're relatively all in versus my board of Teague, but their board of Double Swift Spear is better than my board. So maybe I'm just supposed to, like, play it patient for a turn. get in there. Oh man, no attacks. That's awesome for me. Did not expect that. Deathrite Shaman is also a great draw. So my opponent is dead from 2 nugs of Knight of the Reliquary. I have price of progress to worry about. But price of progress is like kind of lethal already in some ways. I think my opponent's just going to chump block if I attack. So I don't think I need to make the knight any bigger. Oh my gosh, still no attacks from my opponent. This is insane. So I think I attack with both... no, I don't attack with Teague. That's risky. This gets a chump. I think I just want to gain 2 life right now to just decrease the chance that my opponent goes, like, bolt me to the face. And that still might happen. Nope, nope. Opponent just has, like, stone cold bricks over there. Alright. Well, that wasn't so bad. Alright, so we're playing against Burn. Decay seems good. Canonist seems good. Thoughtseize is not quite what we want. So we have 3 cards for this matchup. I think Sylvan Library is going to go out. I don't think we can pay life for cards here. And I think Ramunap is not going to be Wasteland Bros here against Mono Mountains. Then I have to cut 1 more card. I guess Tireless Tracker's a little slow. I could also see Scrib Ranger not being the best. Well, my hand's insane. I will keep this. I also might just fetch basics this game, because I can do Verdant for Forest, Windswept for Plains, and just play around Price of Progress. How many black cards do I have right now? I just have 2 Abrupt Decays. Yeah. I could see using a Green Sun Zenith here to get Dryad Arbor so that I can accelerate into turn 2 Deathrite Shaman and Canonist. That might just be better than getting Mom. Or just, like, playing Deathrite. Because, like, ideally I want Deathrite mid-game, where a creature or 2 is already dead. Evening, Greater Steven. We're currently playing Maverick. We're in round 3. We are currently 1-1. We are up a game against Burn. The salty Moto comments are real. Lightning Bolt targeting me rather than my Dryad Arbor. There's this saying where I come from, always bolt the bird. You might have heard of it. It's kind of a big deal. I can just play a 4/4 Knight and gum up the board. No, I don't intend on turning the sound effects off. I think they are useful for, like, priority passes and such. One sec. So what happened? Lava Spike targeting me, and then just attack in. That's fine. Alright, so I have access to 4 mana this turn if I want. Is there anything I want a Green Sun for? I probably just play Knight. Yeah, I think I just play a big Knight and crash in. And I think I hold up gaining 4 life with Deathrite rather than doing any more damage. So I'm effectively at 4 life because of the Rift Bolt. Which is unfortunate. Yep, I got the ban. You weren't vigilant enough. That's what you get for having to pee. Alright, so... I guess I crash in with Knight and Canonist, and if something happens to the Canonist, I eat it. Like, my opponent, like, Lightning Bolts me. I could Swords the Swift Spear, or just, like, Swords one of my own creatures to gain some life. And then Deathrite Shaman can eat the Canonist. I'm also fine with chump blocking a creature to put stuff into the graveyard that I can gain life with. Okay. So... I can Green Sun for 1, get another Deathrite Shaman. Seems fine. And then I'll have Swords to Plowshares up for my opponent's turn. They can't attack in with the Swift Spear because it just, like, nets in me gaining life over time. I can also just play a Mom, which is not the worst idea either. I can also Green Sun for Ooze. Ooze could block Swift Spear if it attacks in. No food around. It's awkward. My play might have been wrong because my opponent has that Rift Bolt suspended. So they could Rift Bolt, aim it at my Deathrite Shaman. And then I'd really like to have, like, backup Deathrite Shaman. But this Rift Bolt, honestly, might just go to my face. Yeah, so that's a Rift Bolt targeting me. Thalia is a fine draw. Alright, I can Green Sun Zenith for Scrib Ranger. Or no, Scrib Ranger in the sideboard. I think I boarded that out. Alright, never mind. That line's shut off. So I think I just crash in for 6. I also can, like, grow Knight of the Reliquary, like, tap Dryad Arbor for green, sack it to Knight, get another land. That puts a Dryad Arbor in the graveyard that I can gain 2 life with, and then I can also hold up Swords to Plowshares. It might just be better to, like, pass with Knight back up. So I could like, cast Thalia, and then have Swords to Plowshares / Deathrite Shaman stuff active. That seems fine. It also would keep my opponent from casting something like a Sulfuric Vortex if they get it, or a 2-drop. Let's try that. We'll do it pre-combat, see if this, like, makes my opponent do anything. This game is going to be won on very narrow margins. I'm sorry, won or lost on very narrow margins. Okay. So no attack with the Knight. Just an attack with Canonist. Yeah, my opponent's hand is probably weak. I don't know what's in it. I need to be careful. We are not actually dead to Fire Blast. We can beat Fire Blast, we just can't beat, like, Fire Blast plus another card. Because I can currently go up to 9 life. I can tap Dryad Arbor for a mana, tap Knight to sacrifice it, use Deathrite Shaman to make another mana, and then Swords Knight. So I'm actually at, like, effectively 9 life currently. Deal. Alright, I'm going to hope that my opponent's last card is not Fire Blast and make a play here. I mean, I guess I still can beat it, but it's just inconvenient if I move first and they have Fire Blast. Oh man, I can get Gaia's Cradle and make, like, buku amounts of mana. That was not in the initial plan, but that's sweet. Oh, an opponent was just F6'd. That's good. Alright, so now I bash in with Thalia, Knight, Canonist. Awesome. If some of my stuff dies, I just let it die. If they take all of this, I just fetch and kill them with a Deathrite activation. Or no, I can't produce black mana currently. Do I want to just let Thalia die? Probably, because then I can just green sun for ooze and gain 4 life. That seems cool. Maybe that's wrong, though. I guess there's some world where they're holding, like, 2 mana spells. Putting 1 creature into the graveyard and gaining 2 is probably good enough. I also could have just, like, let Thalia die, redeploy. Ugh. Excuse me. So that's X equals 2. That gets ooze. I can overpay, though, because it doesn't matter. I'm not going to use that mana anyway. Just in case I change my mind. Since I don't have extra things to eat, just getting another giant knight that 100% blocks the Swift Spear is potentially better. But I'm still going to get ooze. Alright, and we get there. Alright, so we're 2-1 with Maverick currently. Sorry, Rancor, I waited too long to look over and see what you're saying, so I don't know exactly at what point you were talking about. Alright, my opponent plays Ant. We've played quite a bit. I think I got the last one. This is a double mulligan already against my opponent. It has turn 3 Teague. That might be too slow. I'd rather have a turn 2 Thalia. But I'd be mulling just 2 Thalia. This is 2 dead cards against him. I think I can do better on a mull. Like, if I get a mana accelerator and a green sun, like, that's way better. Not awesome. But with stuff off the top, this is fine. That can go to the bottom. Like, it's relatively aggressive since I have 2 Exalted creatures, and Deathrite Shaman can muck with their graveyard, so it's not like I have 0 interaction. Night, Scudo. Thanks for watching. So I'm playing two creatures next turn, so it doesn't really matter which one of these I play. I'll play Deathrite Shaman. It is the card that may interact with them. Alright, Abrupt Decay, not great. This is about the turn where you usually die. If you don't interact with Ant on turn 3, it's a very good chance they're just going to, like, goldfish you and kill you. Alright, so I'm dead. Correct that. I'm probably dead. Opponent has all the mana they need now. Now they just need a finisher. Alright, so that'll be a Dark Writ into a Cabal Writ, into an LED, into whatever finisher they actually have. They probably have, like, an Infernal Tutor in hand. Ooh, good name. Squee, Goblin, and Knob. Natural Tendrils kill. Alright. So I think before we did Zealous, One Choke, Thoughtseize, Surgical, Canonist for Swords to Plowshares, the Stoneforge Mystic package, Scrib Ranger, and one other card. Ah, the Abrupt Decay. That's what I missed. We have 2 relevant hate cards. As good as we're getting. Alright, opponent gets to cheat. So if they have a therapy, they can hit the canonist now. It's inconvenient that my opponent sees the choke, because now they'll probably fetch a basic swamp. Which is something they might have ended up doing anyway. Not with that fetch land, though. This is the brainstorm to try to go off before Canonist hits. Or a brainstorm that can find Lotus Petal plus Cabal Therapy. So what my opponent is probably thinking about is whether or not they actually want to tap their island, knowing that I have this choke that I'm going to play. If I were to guess. Because their islands from here on out are just going to be Lotus Petals. One-time use only. I get 1 spell a turn. And I think my spell for this turn is just Choke. Then I don't have to wasteland my opponent. But Thoughtseize plus Wasteland is probably safer. Because one of the ways I could lose here is that my opponent has Chain of Vapor. But I guess if I thought seize them, they chain of vapor me in response. I take one of their key pieces. That might be fine. The longer I wait on this thought seize, the better it gets, though. So choke denies 1 mana. Yeah. Okay, I guess Thoughtseize Wasteland is better, as weird as that is. Gives me more information. Holy cow. Alright, so we're gonna leave my opponent with Cabal Writ, Therapy, Double Dark Writ, Infernal LED, so that's 1, 2, so, oh, and Misty. So I'll just take their Infernal, and then if they want to Therapy away my choke, so be it. Like, I get to Wasteland them anyway. Alright, so I 100% get to choke them off of that island. And then they'll have one more land. They'll have the Misty to try to go off with. That was a shuffle with the Ponder, by the way. I think they're pretty straightforward from here. I now just, like, create a clock that is annoying and actually real. Just clocking for 2 a turn with Canonist isn't enough. Choke doing some work, but since it's so slow, I don't really think I want both. Wasteland doesn't do much. Or does it? So if I Wasteland one of my own lands, that makes this 5, 5, 6, 7, 8. So still not lethal. So if I just fetch, yeah, okay. My opponent scoops it up. Maybe the second choke is good enough. I have more disruption than D&T does. So I have Canonist, Thalia's, Thoughtseizes, Surgicals, Zealous, Choke. Maybe that means I don't have to apply quite as much pressure, and I can just cut, say, the Tireless Tracker. I don't know, Choke probably does, like, almost nothing on the draw, though. So this goes Bayou Dryad Arbor. I can't cast either of my white cards. I can't do a turn 2 choke. I can't Green Sun Zenith Fatigue. I can probably do better than this. This is technically better. I need a white land to cast the Thalia. That kind of counts. This lets me cast a turn 3 Thalia. Oh, but if they don't do a fetch, I don't, and they, I'm gonna send that to the bottom. There's no guarantee that they play a fetch and I don't have a fetch. That may be wrong. But I think I'd rather just try to, like, natural draw it and get there on turn 2. Now we have the Thoughtseize Surgical Extraction combo, which is awesome. Ooh, man. I'm really tempted to not take the Ad Nauseam and just take their Infernals and Surgicals those, but that's really greedy. So I'm going to be taking the Ad Nauseam. Alright, so they have Dark Writ, Git Probe, Tutor, Delta left. Cabal Therapy. Yes. It's probably named Thalia because it's so dangerous, even though I can't cast it right now. Yep. Basic lands. So strong. Yep. Cabal Ritual with 9 cards in graveyard. There's 2 Get Probes, 2 Misties, so I can't take 3 out of there to make it not have Threshold. So, yep. Yep. So this is just going to get empty the Warrens, and they're going to empty us. This is the point where I have to surgical Cabal Therapy, so they don't Cabal Therapy and take my Knight, which is like the only thing that I have left. I just can't afford to lose that, unfortunately. Alright, so we need to draw Land and Zealous Persecution. Nope. So now I am dead. I should have no outs to that. Alright, so we're 2-2. Both are losses to Ant, which is unfortunate, because I don't feel like the matchup's that bad. Been having some mana issues. Like I didn't have white mana that game. Alright, do I have any data on my opponent? DBC, DBC. No data on them. So this is a fine, fair hand. Opponent mulligans once. Scry to the top. I actually think I want to Green Sun Zenith this turn to get ahead on mana. I have a handful of stuff, but not a ton to do with it. Or excuse me, like, not a lot of ways to cast things. I'm not actually spewing tickets. I'm very far ahead over break. I only play decks that I think are reasonable, with the exception of the April Fool's deck. That was not reasonable. Noble Hierarch, you say? That's getting killed. Always bolt the bird. Even when the bird is a human druid. Do I need even more mana? Probably not. I think I just want to play the Mom and protect this stuff. How about some lands? I'd have to look and see how much lands is. Because I have like my D&T collection plus a $300 loan account from Card Hoarder. So anything that's within 300 of D&T, I can do. I have a feeling lands is going to be more than that, even after I like account for the fact that I already own Wastelands. So like I have a $300 loan account. So that gets me pretty far, but not as far as it necessarily needs to go. Ooh, that was a mistake, probably. I probably should have like played Tireless Tracker, then land, then Deathrite Shaman. Actually, no, maybe not. This is actually probably fine, because I go Deathrite Shaman. If my opponent attacks, I flash in Scrib Ranger, block with Dryad Arbor, and bounce it, and then continue to do that for every turn for the rest of the game until they find Berserk to trample. Yeah, so I think this week I have 2 3/2s with 4-colored humans, a 5/0 with Soldier Stompy, a 4/1 with black-white D&T, a 4/1 with mono-black control, and also a 1/4, but whatever. We don't focus on the 1/4s. They don't happen very often. That was also an April Fool's Day deck, so. Alright, the Blighted Agent is annoying. But my opponent has 1 card left. Wasteland's not bad. So I can make one. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, untap 5 mana this turn. So I can play both Tireless Tracker and Thalia. This also has the side effect of reducing the size of their graveyard for Become Immense reasons. And since I'm not wastelanding, I'm not going to show them the wasteland here. Alright, I'll take a look at that list later and see how much it actually costs. I've never played lands because I don't own a Tabernacle on paper. I own most of the rest of the cards that actually overlap with any deck in Legacy. I don't own some of the weird stuff like Gambles and Explorations, but the rest of the stuff I have. Alright, Kicked Vines. That is annoying. Library's really good in this matchup. Alright, so let's figure out what I'm doing. So it's definitely starting with playing Wasteland. I'm definitely blowing up Inkmoth Nexus. I'm going to attack with most of these creatures, if not all of them. Deathrite Shaman will drain, so it's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm not going to kill my opponent this turn, and I'm not going to get them particularly close, so that probably just means I should draw another card and try to hit a Swords to Plowshares. I don't have another Abrupt Decay to hit. Alright, so I can hit for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I can just like swing all of this in, then untap. Or I can... No, I can't play Library now. Yeah, so I guess I just swing in with all of this, and if my opponent attacks with Glistener Elf, then I use Scrib Ranger to untap something. Opponent would need another +4/+4 spell to just kill me here. Become Immense. That's unfortunate. Oh, nope. Just trolling me. I respect the troll. Alright, so Persecution in Decay in... Probably Thoughtseize in... Canonist in... Consider Choke. Choke's pretty bad on the draw here, I think, though. So probably not, but we'll see. Let's figure out what's bad. Ooze doesn't matter, the life gain's irrelevant. Scrib Ranger's probably not good enough here. Tracker's kind of slow. I'm not going to have enough cards to want these chokes. Pride Mage can hit their library or an Inkmoth Nexus, but it's kind of a corner case where that actually works. So probably board that out. Maybe I don't have time for library despite how good it is. And I can see Mom being a little weak. Well, this hand has a Zealous Persecution, which is insane, so I'll be keeping it. The rest of the hand is medium. Very happy to get that dazed and not a spell that actually matters like Zealous Persecution. But my opponent kind of has to, like, use the daze there if they want the daze to be good at all. Alright, we got our 2-for-1. They have an Ink Moth. We weren't gonna get greedy enough and try to get a 3-for-1 on their turn when they can have, like, Spell Pierce up. And the Knight answers the Ink Moth Nexus after one more turn anyway. Surprise, my hand is garbage. But I have a Wasteland Machine in play, and that's probably good enough. Excuse me. Oh, man. That's insane. Oh, Infant number 1, thank you very much for hosting. I appreciate your support. We're in Game 2 against Infect. I am playing Maverick. Things are looking real good. Oh, wow. Alright, so for anyone curious what is happening, Berserk does destroy the creature at end of combat. So my opponent is taking 12 damage this turn to get rid of my knight so that I can't use it as a wasteland machine. But that means like a Deathrite Shaman plus the Jitte that I have on board is lethal already. Oh, that's pretty neat. I haven't seen this one in play in Infect before. Does Green Sun Zenith get anything better than what I currently have? So I can Green Sun Fatigue to prevent Become Immense and Invigorate. I believe Invigorate is 4. I should double check that. No, Invigorate is 3, so that doesn't stop that. Do I have a Wasteland in Graveyard already? I do not. Because otherwise I could Green Sun for Ramunap. Since any creature is lethal, I just want to Green Sun for something that will also let me cast Deathrite Shaman, I suppose. So that means I get to Green Sun Zenith for X equals 3 and just get another knight. That seems fine. If you want to daze that, I actually don't care. No. Alright, so now opponent needs to go off through double Jitte counters. Alright, so they become immense. This still doesn't kill me. But if their last card is another pump spell, I need to react here. Admittedly, this may be a ploy to just try to draw a card that lets them kill me. Like, they might not have the kill here, and this is like their only chance to actually do something. Brainstorm in response. That makes me feel like they don't have anything. So I should probably just remove the other Jitte counter here. But they'd have to have like double Invigorate to beat me, whereas if they have single Invigorate in hand right now, they beat me taking an action here. So I'll let them do that. Alright, and we win. So I'm just going to make a couple of quick notes here, and then I'll say a few words here. Oh, MTG Brewers Park, thank you very much for auto-hosting. All right, let me make a couple of quick notes. Ooh, am I the only one streaming Legacy right now? If so, that's real sad. Yeah, looks like I'm the only one streaming Legacy. Oh well, I won't host anyone then. Okay, so let's talk about this deck list, and what happened tonight. So we had wins against Sneak and Show, Burn, and Infect, and 2 losses to Ant. So our losses to Ant were both 1-2s. They were both relatively close. And I just kind of stumbled a little bit, like in the matchup versus Control for Days. I had a Thalia in hand that I just couldn't cast because I didn't have white mana, which is like something that can reasonably happen with this deck due to how the mana base is built. But this deck list felt fine. I would be fine playing this again at some point. Oh, yeah, you're right. So for anyone just listening, since so many people are going to be in Seattle for the Legacy GP, that's why, like, basically no one is streaming Legacy right now. Yeah, that makes a ton of sense. So generally speaking, I enjoyed this deck list. With the matchups I saw, punishing Maverick wouldn't have particularly been much better, except against Infect there at the end. So this was a fine deck list. I'd be comfortable running something like this back again, although I don't know that I will be. So I just borrowed all of this stuff for Tin Fins. So probably at some point tomorrow I'll do a Tin Fins stream. Although, depending on what happens with something that's going on tomorrow morning, it may end up being on Saturday. But the long-promised Tin Fin stream is finally happening for sure. Oh, okay, there's one more last chance trial. Oh yeah, I guess it's, what is that, 3 hours earlier there, so it's only 6 there. Yeah, okay, that's reasonable. That makes sense. As far as like sideboard cards go, we didn't use the Gideons tonight. We used everything else, but I definitely like having Gideon around for things like Check Pile and Miracles, and probably even like D&T as well. Oh, thank you very much for auto-hosting. Unfortunately, I am just about wrapping things up here. Yeah, so this week has been Soldier Stompy, Mono Black Control, Legacy 4-color humans, Blue-White Taxes, Maverick, Black-White Taxes, and I think I did one other D&T stream. So it's been a fun week. I'll play Tin Fins, and then I don't know exactly what else I'm going to be playing. I'm on spring break. I'm just kind of messing around. Again, my name's Phil Gallagher. I run Thraben University. Normally, we'll be streaming D&T, but this week is full of silly stuff. And if you're enjoying what I'm doing, you know, please consider following and or subscribing. Thank you very much. I'm going to call it a night.